Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well today. I forgot to pull up my hair, and I don't see a clippy right here. That's right. I didn't blow dry the best today. As you can see, it's like all big and poofy. But, anyways, let me put on a little bit of lipstick and then I'll go into my introduction. My name is Heather Aston, and this is my channel, Tucci's Trinkets and Treasures. If this is the first time that you've come across one of my videos, I welcome you. I hope you'll find it entertaining and informative enough that you will want to hit the like button, subscribe, maybe become a member of my channel for $9.99. All of my members get 10% off of any videos or any sales that they make in my live sales for any given month. So I sell beads, findings, charms, pendants, things of that nature. So I just noticed that I have blue light glasses on. If that's gonna bother anybody, I can go grab my other ones. I don't know how or why that happened, but it did. But good morning, Tammy. Good morning, Leah. I hope you guys are all having a good day. I think I might steal this little hair tie. I use the little like foamy hair ties to keep my beading wire where it's supposed to be. But then I can pull this up real quick so it's not in my face all day for the whole video. If it's gonna let me pull it up. Let's see. Because it doesn't always. Oh. It doesn't look like it's wanting to cooperate today any more than it did when I tried to blow dry it, but I'll do the best I can. I'm also on camera trying to do this, so Okay, that will have to be good enough. Anyways, also, I forgot to grab this. So I'm going to really quick. You guys said in my video yesterday. Let's see. Nope, because I still can't see it. Oh, that's why. I thought I thought the wrong end was the hook. And the other one was the jump ring that it's supposed to go into. I promise, jewelry I make isn't usually this difficult to put on, but there. I thought that I would have my thing. All right, Leah, you're in my prayers. I hope that everything comes out the way you want it to and that everything is good. The one good thing about this group is that we have an amazing group of other women who are strong, strong, strong prayer warriors. So having us here and joining you and praying for you, there's a purpose. I know that it'll take a few days for you to get your results. One of the things God's asked us for that is very difficult for me specifically. Sorry, I'm not. We had cold weather for 2 days and now we're back in the 90s. So, of course, that's like messing with my allergies as well as everything else. I'm hoping that's all it is just allergies. But if not, I'll be fine. But Anyways, I know that I said that I was only going to be on Wednesdays and Friday mornings and Wednesdays for Wednesday night wind down. But what I figured is that if I'm up to doing a live on Tuesdays or Thursdays, those days won't be like beads and things. They'll be for creating like with my bargain bead box. When I get my companion bundle. Okay, Leah, I hope he gets the images he needs. Um, anyways, that if I come on live on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings or afternoons, I guess it's afternoon here, that those will be when I design with the specific beat boxes in mind. There is a little something I wanted to address, but because people didn't know I was coming on, there's not many people here. So hopefully a few more will trickle in, and then I want to have a little conversation. So also, I'm wire wrapping today. I had originally planned. I hate this color. It never lays right. There we go. It's a little better. Hi Sharon. Um, I'm wire wrapping today. I cut the wire in advance. I made a small pile of jump rings. Hopefully it's enough. If not, I'm going to have to make them. So if you don't like watching a full video about that includes wire wrap links and whatever else, then I would recommend that you hit pause and come back later when you can watch it in double speed or skip past that part of it. So I just want to let you guys know up front so that if that's not what you want to spend the next hour and a half doing with me, that you are able to uh go on with the rest of your day and not have to sit here and watch all that. I did find the rest of the rhodonite part of my bargain bead box, so we're going to be designing with that. I'm not 100% on what I'm going to do or like um which focal I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do the main focal from the box and I'm going to put that on. But possibly not, only because I I should have cut copper wire. Dang it. That's on me. I apologize. I cut bronze wire. Now, while bronze would go well with antique copper, man, I didn't think of that. I can make a I can make a pendant. I can make a pendant using the bronze wire. I got it. Don't worry about that. Just popped in my head. Okay, I have something we can do already. Now I can take a bit of a deep breath, right? And I don't have to stress out about the fact that I made the wrong component this morning. Where's the rest of this? And where's the link of this? So, maybe these work too. Okay, yeah. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I have some turtle jasper here that has the same like rose and brown and whatever in it, and they're like diamond shapes or they're drilled so that they're diamonds, not squares. So I can just do a stack of 3 of those as the pennant, so we'll be good. Okay, I think there's enough of us here, although there were some other people I was hoping would be on when I addressed this, but yesterday There were like a lot of comments, starting with what I was calling my outfit, being told I was doing things wrong, all caps being put up that I didn't answer a question when I did. I answered it the first time. It just wasn't caught. Things like that, that I don't want on my channel. I love you guys. I know that the women who did this were only trying to be helpful, but that's just not my thing. And everybody can say you need to grow thick skin, you need to toughen up, you need to do this or that or whatever if you're going to do this. And I say that that is bogus and that that's not actually the case. And I like that I'm sensitive. That's who I am as a person. So, and I'm going to read a verse of a song that Jewel wrote about this very thing. It's actually entitled Sensitive, and I'm going to read the last verse of that song. It goes like this. I have this theory that if we're told we're bad, then that's the only idea we'll ever have. But maybe if we are surrounded in beauty, someday we can become what we see. It's because anyone can start a conflict. It's harder yet to disregard it. I'd rather see the world from another angle. We are everyday angels. Be careful with me. I'm sensitive and I'd like to stay that way. So I couldn't sum it up any better than that. So I don't want to make a big to-do about it. I just want the comments to be helpful and kind. You guys can talk about anything. I don't mind. When I was also a little frustrated because people were chiming in when I didn't ask a question, but then weren't saying anything when I did. So I want it to be a fun, happy place. I want this to be a gathering where you guys are listening, maybe watching as you're beating yourself. So that's what I like to imagine. I like to imagine that we're just all collectively designing together. And so, but yeah, I want this to be positive. So we'll go ahead and we'll move on from that subject. And let's go down to the mat and I will show you what we have. These are the turtle jasper that I said I had. Let me find one more. I only took two out. Even this piece, it looks like it's rhodonite. So I might pull that one out to be the center of this. Maybe I have three of those. So I can pull that out. And that can be the focal. Or do I want to stay with the pink? Because I also have the larger golem beads that are that nice, like, dusty color, but I think I want to go closer to the rhodonite color. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll go there, there, and then pick the ones of this that have black, but not as much of it. If you've never seen turtle jasper, this is turtle jasper. These are moonstone. But this is turtle jasper. There's quite a wide array of colors in it, from yellows to oranges, pinks, grays, like that kind of like muddy green color. There are several different colors. So I can use those to make a really cool focal. I'll just wire wrap them on with some spacers in between and it'll be okay. Okay, I forgot to put this away. So here's what I was thinking. I have my rhodonite. I have the 8 and the 6 millimeter. And these all, oops, Pixie is not where he's supposed to be. Sorry about that. Are we higher up now, Pix? We got this. There we go. Okay. I don't want him bouncing for you. Much better. Alrighty then. So we have these, and then we also have these other beads. I think that although these are black, I think the bronze wire goes very nicely with it, as they're both neutrals. So I figured I would pull out a few of these. Again, like the turtle jasper I just picked, they're like multiple shades and color variations. I love pink and black rhodonite. It is one of my favorites. It's just when it's all this, um, I don't gravitate to it as much. But that's okay because we can create a secondary focal with these two when we get to that portion of the necklace. So again, all right. Apparently people didn't like what I had to say, which makes me sad because it's just, I don't know. Okay, like I said, I am going to be wire wrapping in this video. So it will be a longer one. If that's not your thing, that's perfectly understandable. Please maybe watch it later when you can fast forward, or watch it in double time, which is often how I have to grab my friends' videos. Otherwise, I wouldn't have time to watch all of them. And I want to give them support as well. So it's going to be a pretty simple wire wrap. I'm just going ahead and putting a 90-degree bend in all of the pieces of wire that I caught at about the length I need them to be when I wire wrap. The only thing is that I couldn't find my 6-step veil making pliers. I'm sure I just set them down and I'm forgetting where they are, as that is a issue I have. So, ooh, I forgot about these. Ooh, this could be pretty. Maybe do 3 of these, or 2 of these in between. I know this would make it like a longer focal, but sometimes the deep Y necklace can be gorgeous. Okay, and then I'd have 3, so I'd have 1 left over to make a bracelet, and 2 to do earrings with them, which I want to do when I use this and have it cut all bronze wire instead of copper wire. So we will come to that. Yes, I like that. I will probably do it on beading wire to make it kind of slinky. Or I'm gonna cut copper wire real quick. I want to do the antique copper. It will take me just a moment to cut the different pieces. I already have jump rings and antique copper, so I don't have to do any of that. So I'm just gonna pull out my copper wire, and I'm gonna cut some sections really quick. I hope you guys don't mind. But I want to do, I don't know why I didn't think of it when I was prepping for this. Don't drop them, sucker. Sorry, 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 sorry. Okay, this should be enough to get us started. Like I said, I'll likely put this on beading wire so that it still has movement to it. But yeah. So, who all was able to get companion bundles for this month or the value bundle that came out like I don't know, the weekend before? I believe it was the like we got the bargain bead box 1 week and then the value bundle was put up. And then they put up the companion bundle last Friday, which went very quickly. I knew it was going to. I was like, oh, I'll buy one and then I'll come back in a little bit. And if there's any left, then I will go ahead and do that. But yeah. So I do not understand what the heck I did with my 6 cent bill making flyer. It's not like I would need it anywhere else in the house, so it should be right here. Linda, just a heads up. This is going to be a longer content. You're lucky. I can't wait to see it and see what you do, Rosanna. That did a great job, but I've missed you like crazy, doll. I know we've talked a couple days in between, but I've missed you just the same. So, yeah, Belinda, I didn't get components made in advance, so it's gonna be a longer video as far as how much, like, how it takes extra time because I am wire wrapping everything. You guys, this is gonna drive me absolutely batty. Where the heck are they? I like when I do a chain link, I'm gonna look for like 30 more seconds and then I'll move on from this. Did it fall on the floor? And I just, nope, I have no idea where it is. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna grab my larger chain nose plier. They're not quite as fine as my little ones, so hopefully, oh, Pixie. They're supposed to be down here, sir. No, down here. When I bumped it, it made him focus on me instead. Now I just have to get his angle correct so that you guys are, so that I'm staying on camera. Because he turned ever so slightly too. Okay, you stay right there, Pixie. All right. He's where he's supposed to be now. And just as like an FYI, Pixie is what the name of the camera is. It's not that I named the camera. It's just that that's what the name of the camera is. Okay, anytime I do, I'm just gonna go up like at an eighth of an inch. I'm not gonna go up too high. But I like to do when I do chain link, I like to do assembly line style. So like I cut all of them, then I bent all the wires, and now I'm gonna go through and do all the loops. Yay! You got copper and gemstone mini bundles. From where and how did I not know those existed? But assembly line style just keeps you from having to pick up your pliers set them down. Like if I were to finish this loop, I would need my other, not really, I could just turn it, but I like the way it looks when I'm able to like pull this wire tight before I do my wraps. So, and this really does help. I timed myself, and even though, you know, I was under the clock, because of course, just like when you're online or when you are being watched or you're timing yourself, of course, everything that can go wrong does go wrong. But I think I was actually had the container these were in pulled out for something else. And that section of it wasn't tight enough, I guess. And so when I dropped it, no, you go behind, sir. When I dropped it, it popped open. And as soon as I saw them, I was like, oh, those will go with the rhodonite, and they're a cool, interesting shape. And not just a round or whatever else. No, but the BBB team rocked it once again. They gave us such a like they gave us a lot of the stuff we need and gave us a multitude of different shapes and tones, and they just curated this box beautifully. I know some people wish that there were more beads and thought there was too much metal. For this girl who likes her metal, I think it turned out beautifully. I think they did a great job. Um, I like that they put the majority of the metal into the subscription box, and so the companion bundle is a little bit more bead heavy, which normally we tend to get like a bunch of metals inside of the companion bundle. And I've heard people comment like, oh, I wanted to get that. It was in the, and I know because I'm one of those people. I wish they were able to offer those all the time, but they, the people that they work with, they're doing it on closeout mode, just like when I buy stuff from Bernie's that was part of a buyout, or like the beads I just had. So this is what I mean. Sometimes I just like to pull that just a little bit tighter so that it goes around. And then you just go through and you keep wrapping. Usually I like to have this step already completed for the most part. I'm trying to go as fast as I can though, I promise. And then we'll start putting the links together. Again, if this is not your typical, if you don't like having to watch me go through and wrap every single one, come back later, watch it in double speed or skip past this part of the video. I've never put bookmarks in my videos because I don't know how to. Maybe I'll watch a video and see how it is. But I know you'll be back tomorrow. I'm excited. Oh, well, Sharon, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, can you go subscribe? So I don't have that weird number. Or if somebody has more than one, like, account on YouTube. I probably wouldn't have even noticed that. But now that it's been brought to my attention, I'm gonna be like checking constantly what goes away. Anyways, like I said, I will go and try to watch a video after that, after this, and put channel or put chapters just in so you don't have to watch me do that and sit here and talk. So, okay, now we can get on to figuring out what we're gonna do lengthwise as soon as I cut all of these off. But so, if you did get a companion bundle, who is going to be joining us in the companion collaboration? Linda, you can as well. If you've got some rhodonite beads and whatever else, you're more than welcome to join us. Just as we don't like keep, if someone would like to be part of it but only have the subscription box, or they have the subscription box and they were only able to get the value bundle, it's all fine. I just think it's fun to unbox and kind of toss ideas around with each other, because sometimes somebody will mention something that you may not have thought of doing, or you may not have put the beads together. Maybe like you didn't think about putting turtle jasper with the rhodonite, but it goes beautifully, and it also goes really good with the, it goes well with the anti-copper as well. I don't know why I didn't pull out my copper wire for this originally. I know it didn't take but a couple minutes to get to the point I already was with the bronze wire. I had only cut it and bent it, which takes like no time at all to do. And I may have too many links here, but I'd rather have too many than not enough. So I save them, I don't throw them away. I used to keep all of my copper scraps, thinking, oh, wouldn't it be fun to make a mold or order a mold from somebody and melt down all your copper to make your own findings? And then I watched a few videos of just how hard that is to do and what, maybe not so much. So we have the rhodonite. It's beautiful. We have some like pink crystals. That is beautiful, but I may do these with the bronze because that'll be gorgeous. I did split up the other crystal strand, and there's not much. I did order a few more strands of this just so that I would be able to use it in other designs. I also want to throw in some of these um rose quartz, like square pebbles, because originally I was like, those are too bad, or too big, how am I ever going to use those? And I have seen everyone designing with them, and they haven't had any problems doing so. And then I have all of my copper findings. I'm just gonna open up here. So, oh yeah, I don't need jump rings for that. Yay, and I had even found my twisted ones that are closed. They're closed rings. So those will be really pretty to put the links together. And I might want to do like a strung second strand that can maybe come off and be worn as a bracelet. I don't know. Now I'm having ideas. But we also have a wide array of spacers, some other bead caps. I think these ones were from my stash. So if you were looking at them going, wait, I don't have those, that's why. Or maybe I'll do a front clasp. I've never done one. I've been intimidated by them. We also have the little links that we could pop in. These flower links and our diva of a fairy. Love her. She's awesome. So yeah. Oh, okay. Bye, Sharon. Talk to you later. If anybody else has a thing, can you please just, go subscribe? That would be great. Ooh, that would be pretty too. Ooh, that would be an awfully long front thing. But that's so pretty. Ha ha ha. What to do, what to do, what to do. Anybody have any ideas? Do you think this is like way too crazy long? Or do you think it could look cool? Because what I was thinking was I could get out my garnet soft flex and do that and just like crimp, put a crimp on in between each of the beads as kind of like a spacer. Yeah, I think that one's too long. If I do a double strand, I could use these up where I like to put my secondary focals and just have them link into these. That could be pretty. Okay, so let me show you what I mean for the focal. Just a piece of garnet wire. What I am gonna do though is I'm going to double this up. That way, the crimps will hold because there will be enough quote unquote meat in the raviolis. So I am going to double strand this for that purpose. I feel like it being on the beading wire and not on wire will help it stay looking a little bit more fluid. It'll move easier. I could be completely wrong, but that's my thinking behind this. Ooh, don't need that many, Heather. And then I can just put a loop at the top, maybe a beaded loop. That could be pretty. What's I'm trying to think what seed beads do I have right here? I just had my ooh. I could always use the Elash and Jasper to do a beaded veil. And I'm not like what Jenny does, just a simple one. Okay, so we have start with a crimp at the bottom so that our beads stay where we want them to. I'm going to grab my magical crimper. That's what this is. I do have copper spacers too in a couple different sizes. So that's good. Just saw those. Okay, I'm gonna stick the crimp on the end of it. I'm going to center the crimp into the concavity of the magical crimpers. And then I will go around and any excess from the crimper, like I'll show you right now. So I did the first squish and you'll see that it went from being a tube to kind of a square. As with each pass and each squish that I do on this metal will get pushed into the rest of the crimp, turning it into a bead. But you want to keep it centered because if it's up like this, even a bit, you end up getting a scratchy hourglass shape instead. So just keep going and you just want to turn like 90 degrees each time until I do it, until I don't have any more resistance. Now, beading wire is metal. So whenever I do this, because sometimes I do this for like ball head pins when I don't have them, things like that. I do pull out my rotary tool and just kind of file. That crimp does not look good, so actually I'm gonna cut that off. But normally I'm still gonna do this part, but I like to just file off the very if there's any like wire still sticking out or something like that, especially for a Y necklace, because that can go down in between our cleavage, and that's not comfortable to have that being like scratchy bit in there. Because even if I do my best to try to keep it I do not understand what is going on with these crimps. They're just not wanting to like finish. That is so weird. I've never had this problem before. If anything, normally the copper ones are the thicker walled. So they're easier to do. There we go. Okay. It's working correctly this time. Now, I'm going to go in and I'm going to trim off to the best of my abilities the very end of the beading wire. And then, like I said, I just go in and kind of sand until it's smooth and I don't feel anything anymore. So now we're going to go ahead and thread that onto there. Because the crimps are being a little finicky, I'm just going to use my regular spacer beads instead of trying to fight with the, well, maybe. These have the smallest holes I have ever seen in a metal spacer. Like the itty bitty ones have bigger holes. So let me see if I can get two. I can't. Okay, so we're gonna use the crooks after all. Just as a little bit of separation. Not a lot. Aw, thank you. I'm glad you like that, Rosanna. Come on. Oh, there's still one of those little seeds in here. I was like, you're a metal bead. You should have plenty of a lot of plenty big of a hole. It's because I still had all of that in it from when they put it in the tumbler. Okay, for some reason, man, it's going right over the top of it, but that's okay. I just won't file it. It went right over that bead. I'm glad that I didn't try to put a flower at the end because it would not have worked. Go in there. This one must have grass. So there we go. Yeah. Love it. Okay, how? If I just go down to one strand now that this part is done, then I can use the small copper ball spacers and just make a beaded veil. Or I bead two. I bead both of them and then have them come back into a crimp. I just have to put a crimp on before I do that. That could be really pretty, actually. And then I'll just have to feed them back through here. We'll see. If they're fighting for space too much, then see, maybe I just need to take some time. I figure just sit there and practice picking beads up with my beading wire. I'm not entirely sure that this is going to work, only because it'll have essentially 4 passes or 4 wires in that go through the crimp tube. So okay, that's 7. Let's put 8 and call it good. I think I'm just gonna stick with one loop. But there's a bead on here that I don't like. So I'm going to swap it out for a shinier one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm afraid that the copper crimps always seem to have a thicker wall because that's what the base of it is with all of the crimp tubes. They're generally just copper that's then plated over the top of. So, okay, now we don't want it to be tight. I want there to be movement. And then I'm just going to stick it in and I'm going to swish it. Squish. And then the crimp just looks like another one of those beads. So then we can cut this at the bottom of the crimp and cut the other one at the top of the crimp. And there we go. There's our focal for our necklace. Alrighty, now onto the beads. I really like the way that looks actually. It's different. Hold on. It looks like this could use at least one more little squish. Okay, yeah, that looks better. Alrighty. Let's move those and let's start putting together what we want to use for our pieces. And I know that we also got the antique ones, and I think that it could look really cool to do like this. I'm hoping these are the same size. The bare copper might be a little bit darker, but I thought it could look kind of cool to just do like this link. I think I'd want a smaller loop for that, but maybe for if I decide to do a second piece, that would look very pretty. You could do that could be the only thing that you do with it. And then you will see me not like I just did, but I like to tuck in my ends once there's a bead on because it doesn't do that where it goes up at an angle. That drives me nuts when my pliers do that. So I have found personally for me, it's a little bit easier to do it when there are beads on, or I could do it when it's like this. I'll just cover the loop entirely and kind of go around, and that makes it easier. So if you've ever done wire links and stopped because you kept getting a scratchy point right there, that's something that I learned helped. So I think I want to start with a 6 millimeter, and then go. Do I want to just do this one dry copper? I also happen to have rice beads in this as well. So they're labeled as rose gold filled. I think they look like copper. And then we could do a bead cap, and an 8 millimeter. I don't know. No, I don't like the way that looks actually. Maybe I'll just do the rose gold, this, this, this again. I just like the contrast of the bright copper, rose gold. I don't like that. I like the contrasting tones of the metal. So we'll do a couple like that. Again, these bead caps I brought in from my stash. Or did they have two bead caps? I don't know. I could be wrong. If they did have the two bead cap offerings, these could also be from Bargain Bead Box. I could be wrong. I'm not one of those people. Like Amy Campbell can pull out a bead and she knows exactly when and where she got it. It blows my mind that she is able to do that because that is not something that like I would be good at. Like I have all of my pricing incorrectly and stuff like that, but I just don't have. And even if I didn't have Durkheim's disease, I doubt I would have the memory capabilities to do that. So I don't think that that's something we can just entirely blame on Durkheim's disease, though I'd like to, because the memory issues I have at 46 are just insane. But I do all of the like quote unquote brain games. They're just like puzzle games and whatnot, like Sudoku and stuff like that. I typically either do that in the mornings or I do it at nighttime, sometimes both. But I do that just to make sure. At the last like scan, there didn't seem to be too much deterioration in that, so I was very happy to hear that. Okay, so we're going to do this. Will give, I want to do 6 links like this and then figure out what the other link is going to be. You guys, what I said at the beginning doesn't mean that I don't want you guys to talk. I absolutely want you guys to talk. Like, I don't want you guys to feel like you can't have a discussion in the comments of my videos. That's not it at all. Ugh. Okay, so we all, like I said, we also do have those the links that came with the bargain bead box that we can also use for part of this. I have this spot. Going to do my loops at the same spot on my regular pliers. Come on. I understand copyright laws and all, but sometimes I wish they weren't so strict. Because I'm known to turn my music up 2, 4, 5, 10. Oh, no, there's quite loud when I bead. So that's what I typically do. Why are you using that kind of wire? Use the right tools. I say that, but like I like using these because they're just like a little one sometimes when I do wraps. I like the way it holds the wire better. I also typically use my round nose pliers when I'm doing this part because then it can like, come on, get back down. Thank you. Nope. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Okay. Plus, I know you guys don't have the turtle jasper. Aw, thanks. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Gloria. Glad you're here. We're doing a little wire wrapped Y necklace using the bargain bead box. And but the diamonds are beads from my stash. But if you got the companion bundle, you can do this. Just use these. Use these in place of the turtle jasper. Just add those in, and that would be gorgeous as well. So if you like this and want to create it yourself, I don't want you to feel like you can't because you don't have the diamonds. You absolutely can still do it. Okay, let's see here. Make sure these are all tucked in nicely. Don't want any pokey bits. That one cut really well. This one has a pokey bit. And I like that I can either seal the copper as is so it stays the bright copper, or I can let it, tarnish with time. I guess everything I make on my channel, unless otherwise specified, is available for sale. So I could, if I were to sell this and somebody wanted me to go ahead and make the metals all match, I do have that option. I know I've discussed it before, but if you ever get a loop that kind of looks like a D or whatever, once it's wrapped, just stick it on your round nose pliers and kind of roll it back and forth, and you'll get your loop back. So just a little tip. Okay, next set of links. Because I want to use these. I don't know that I'll do a secondary focal because if I'm going to do these up at the top, because I'm doing a multi-strand necklace, like maybe I have it shaped this way and just alternate with the ball spacers between the bright and antique back and forth could be really pretty. That might be what we do. A Y necklace can have a second strand, right? Is it okay? I can't decide if, I guess we'll see. Okay, so 6mm rhodonite. Um, I also have these from my stash. Maybe we just alternate like a round, a spacer, the square, a spacer, around the square. Let's see if that works. Oh no, we were going to start with round. Round. What other spacers do we have? I think one of these is from my stash, so it might not have very many. Okay, I have 12 of them, which would allow me to make 6 links if I'm doing my math properly. Or, oh, even better, this piece of wire is not long enough for this link. Maybe we just alternate. They're right in front of you, Heather. Do we want to put a spacer in between them? Hello, hello. We could do that. I don't know. I'm going to want to look at my original idea. That might need to be like a ball spacer situation, not a flat situation. I just thought because they were both the same. Yeah, no, don't like it. Okay. Go back to my original idea where we take a round one and then we put one of these little spacers on. We do a square and we do a round. And then, yeah. Okay. I can only do 6 links like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I only did 6 of those as well. So that would give me a total of 12 links. And then I can pop this on, put this up at the secondary focal right at your collarbone, and do chain up around the back. Yes, okay. I think this is what I want to do. The only thing I'm wondering is if I should add a ball spacer at the beginning and the end. So let me see what that would look like real quick. No, it's too much. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. I like it. Yeah, I'm having the same issues and we're in the afternoon here. So you're not alone. I don't have the excuse that it's too early in the morning. So I'm just gonna have to see what it looks like and decide if I like it once it's done. And this would be a cute earring. Just to do this as the earring. Even if you made like, because I don't have any more of the spacers, I know where I got them. I got them off of Amazon. These ones, I realized you got those off of Amazon in like a big, uh, like a variety pack type thing. That's why you don't get very many of them. Can you not be crooked proper? Fix the loops after. 3. There we go. And normally I don't do like multi-strand. I generally prefer to like make separate necklaces. That way you can layer your jewelry however you want. But I think in this instant, and I may change my mind, it's my prerogative, as Bobby Brown says. And you know, he makes the rules, right? Just kidding. No, he doesn't. But it is my prerogative to change it if I don't like it. And if you've been watching me for any period of time, you know that your girl doesn't always know what she'll like, but she can tell pretty damn fast what she doesn't like. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6. Okay, yes. Now we can do the loops, trim the wire, and I do need to make some jump rings really quick, but I promise I will be as fast as I can. Oh wait, no. I have jump rings. We already found that out. I forgot. I have the twisted clothes. Oh, I can't use the clothes. I'm so glad I'm doing this assembly line style. Well, no, because it would have to go here too. Dang it. It's okay, I have an idea. I will show you in just a moment. Funnily enough, one of the brain games, like the good for your brain, keep it young, whatever games that I play, is like a find a hidden object or whatever, which I'm very good at. So I don't understand why I have such a problem when it comes to finding something on my mat right in front of me. So for these second ones, that chain notes come in very handy. Especially, ooh, when I have shorter pieces of wire that I need to wrap, like this one. There we go. And then once I'm done with this, oh, you know what I could do? What I was thinking was that like I could create some little links of the like bright tarnished, what or antique, sorry. And like put the twisted jump rings in between each link, so that it kind of has it looks more like its own necklace. But I could also use some bright copper jump rings and then put the twisted wire in between and then do another bright that joins directly to our links. What do you guys think? Put them on the second strand or join them use them and to like make my necklace a little bit longer by creating more of a chain effect. Oh, I did this one wrong. That's why there's still a spacer on the mat. I was sitting there trying to figure out, did you miscount earlier? I didn't. I just left it off. Which, if you were here yesterday, you know I did on that project as well. Which I always check my pattern before I wrap. And I was just okay, where did you go? Where did the one I was just trying to wrap go? I don't know where it went. As soon as I already wrapped. I'll find it when I'm putting the necklace together, right? All the scraps on the desk is making it hard to identify. So, oh no, it's right here. And oh, it broke. I must have accidentally cut my loop or something when I was cutting the wire. That's why I couldn't find it. So there we go. This one's longer. Yeah, I found it. I had it as soon as I oh yeah, I could do that, Rosanna. That's true. And I could just make another loop using, I could make the loop like this one as well. Yeah, I found it immediately after getting off. Well, no, that's not true. I noticed before uh I signed off yesterday, but I just fixed it afterwards. Because either way, there was no way I was going to sit there and restring the entire thing on the video. Okay. Oh, here it is. This is the one I was wrapping. That went. Phew. There we go. Okay. I'm going to make sure all of my loops line up real quick. Yes. Yeah. That one sits up nicely. I'll show you. I mentioned it earlier that I prefer to tuck after my beads are on. It just went right into place because there wasn't really room for it to do or go anywhere else. So that's why I like to do it after my loops or after all the beads are done. There we go. I don't know why that. You were the only one that really noticed that I got very quiet yesterday, Rosanna, which doesn't surprise me because you are also sensitive. But okay, all of my loops are good. Let me. I would have to cut jump rings if we were gonna alternate between bright and antique. That would be something I would still have to do. And if we decided to do the second strand, we could let me grab the canister there and try to find. This would actually look really cool with Unikite. I have a couple like that. So, huh, 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 huh. Turtle Jasper may make another appearance with this box. Quite a few of them look like that, actually. There we go. That one will work for the center of the second strand. I'm not sure why I have Moonstone in there, but hey, Moonstone would have looked pretty with this too. But if we were to put the Turtle Jasper in the center and then just go like this, and we could do like so many, and then, or we can just put one of the flowers. How many of the flowers do I have left? I have 3. I wanted to do it a bracelet and earrings, so no. We could just do so many, or like I said, we could do little links and have the little links connect onto the antique twisted jump rings that I have. So those are the options. We can either do it strung and just alternate these and then maybe throw some of the rhodonite every so many beads, like so. What do you think? Or I can just do one that's just links of the alternating beads and connect them using the link. I think I might do that actually. I think I like that idea better. So, okay. Oh, I can't do it that way. I'd have to do the links all separately so that I can join them back and forth. Oh, but it won't take long because I'm still trying to decide if I want to do lariat or with this. But I don't know that I would be able to do a second strand if I went lariat style, would I, Rosanna? Would that work? I'm wondering. What to do, what to do, what to do. I'm trying to visualize it and it's not going well. So I would make these ones with slightly smaller loops. So here, let me make 2 loops real quick. And then attach them on, put the beads on, and then we can decide if links. Oh, you're supposed to be doing smaller loops, Heather. I'm gonna grab my smaller. So essentially, I almost said what. Yeah. And we would just do this on either side, minus the wire tails, of course. Are you serious? The holes in these rose quartz is tight. So it would lay like that. That would be the second strand. What do you guys think? It would wrap rather than be a second strand. What do you mean? Or did you mean to say I would wrap rather than be a second strand? Trying to figure out what you're trying to say, Rosanna. It is getting warm in here. We may have to get um like a second AC for in here. It's the hottest room in the house. And I'm too old to be in the hottest room of the house while I'm creating in Arizona. Rosanna must be taking. Linda's still getting coffee. Otherwise, I would know her input. One long strand, then wrap around your neck, and they would drop through a loop for the lariat. If I was going to do that, maybe this is what I use to connect it and like make it longer. Maybe I do this, then this link. Then I do it again, but maybe alternate and do the bright on the ends outside and the antique on the middle, and then do the next section, right? Because this could be cute. It would make like a nice little chain in between. And because I would be wrapping them separately, I could still attach to these links. Let me see how many. I know I have several of the twisted links in my stash. Let me see how many I have. So we know if that's even a possibility. I think it will be. So I've got what looks to be an abundance of these. You're back. You're on the phone with your mechanic. Oh, goodness. See, then I could just have these little sections in between each of the other beads. Right, it wouldn't be a second strand. Not at all. That's what I'm saying. I would just add these into the big long strand that went around the back. Because I don't know that the links by themselves would have enough length. And would I have to redo this with a bigger loop? I would, right? Which is fine if I do. I don't mind. Let me put this together, pop it onto one of the other connectors, and we can decide if that's the route to go. Because I think it's gonna be. I kind of like that. Because isn't a lariat okay. Connect this because it works. It doesn't work out, and I cut this one off. Ooh, I just almost hit myself in the face. Okay, so we'll start with tarnished or antiqued. Right, and technically this is like a, what is it called when you use two metals? Mixed metals, that's what it's called, Heather. Oh, I almost forgot. That would have been frustrating. Okay, we'll grab this. Wrap around. The excess. Now the other link on the opposite side and this side. If this is the way we're gonna go. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we're working with. Now, please don't do that. So essentially this what is what it would look like. I'll go through and straighten these out later because obviously some of them look to be a little bit crooked. But it would be like this all the way around. I know you would. The pendant would drop through the loop. Oh, so I'd have a loop at this end. I wouldn't make the loop on this end. So I would attach this, and then at the end of this part, I would create a bigger loop that this drops down in between. Which this is like being weird and tight, so I might want to do it again anyways. Okay, but let's see. I really like these though. I really like that though, so I don't know. I may just want to make this like its own necklace, and that be the second strand, so that I can use these. Yeah, I think rather than a lariat, I'd rather like make that its own necklace or its own strand. Make sure I'm cutting the right loop here. I don't want to. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna grab my 18 gauge copper wire, spin up some jump rings real quick. Twist, twist, twist. I would love to see my hand motions in double speed while doing. There we go. Okay, in case you've never made your own jump rings. Now, I know that all of you ladies here have done so. But there might be somebody that watches this at a later date or time who may not know how to make jump rings. So I'm going to take a quick hot minute to go through it. So I like to spread mine out more as I'm wrapping them around the barrel. If that's not your thing and you like them tighter that way, what you can do is take a piece of wire that has a right angle in it and just get it in between the first two parts of the coil. And then you just slowly start turning it and you take it through the entire coil. Why I keep saying that wrong. The entire coil to kind of spread out your wraps, which makes it easier to cut the jump rings. So that they're not all congested and you're not accidentally cutting a different strand of the wire. Then you want to start with your wire flush. Now, I don't know how to explain this. I like to have the flush side facing outward because, no, facing in. What am I trying to say? What I'm saying isn't making sense, so never mind. Anyway, so there you have your flush cut, and then you want to get as close to that when you cut the next size so that your ring, when it comes together, there's not a gap and it doesn't get misshapen because there's too big of a gap. Then you're going to have to cut off the very end of that little piece of wire to make sure that this is flush again. Then you turn your pliers the other way and you cut them. Oh, I know what I do. I do it facing up so I can see. So I like, right? Yes. I like to face it up so I can see where that is, and then I cut my loop. Might have just done it. Anyways, you just need to go back and forth, back and forth. I need new double flush cutters, otherwise I would show you how to cut jump rings with that, which takes out this middle step of having to cut the other side of the jump ring flush again, because both sides give you a flush cut, so it's not necessary to do so. I just used my double flush cutters on a wire that I shouldn't. It was too thick. It was 18 gauge bare bronze wire, because it might even be harder than half hard wire. I think that's what it's called. Which I used to use all the time. But now that I'm going more with like the copper and the bare bronze wire, and when I do my big restock, I'm going to get some sterling wire as well. So I'm just gonna get a pound of copper in the various sizes and shapes. I am going to attempt to learn how to use like the half round wire so that I can. I've been told that it's the easier way to like learn specific wire wrapping techniques. So I'm gonna grab some. I think, or did you tell me I needed to get square wire, Rosanna? It was one or the other. I'm not sure. Okay, now we're gonna connect our links together now that we have our 18 gauge jump rings cut. I'm gonna put scraps over here. This is one of the jump rings you need, Heather. I'm just trying to get that extra stuff off of this. And I may complete this design after we're done so that this isn't a 3-hour video. I know some of you wouldn't mind, but I know that some people see it, the length of the video being that, and it freaks them out. I don't. There's a time and a place for both of those kind of things. So, Linda, have you decided when you are going? Sorry, I was sending you a sketch. What was that about? Yes, please send me the sketch so I know what you mean, hon. Um, I can't remember if you said that I should get the half round to try to do other techniques, or if you said to get square to like learn how to do the more like intricate, like creating the wired veils and things like that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I need one more of this on. And I think this is the one I want closest. What do you guys think? Does that go into the Y better? Or that? Now that I put it there, I think the square is cool because you got square, round, diamond. You only use half round to wrap with. Okay, that's what I'll do. I am going to redo this because it's very stiff and that's not what I wanted. So I am going to redo that before attaching it. Luckily, that only takes a moment. But like I said, for those who don't like 3-hour videos, we can end after this part is put together. And then I can either just finish it up on my own, or I can do a recorded video for the second part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Okay. Want to make sure I have enough. I think I wrap pretty fast, especially when using. That is not working. I'm so annoying. Especially when I'm doing it assembly line style, but others may disagree. I just kind of get into a zone, especially if we're talking. Okay. Okay, so this is a good, oh no, it just went together. I would say this is a good example of it not having the entire rotation, but then I bent it a little bit more, and that was the only thing it needed. It didn't need to be like squished or anything. It was an optical illusion. But I do think I like the link with the square facing the the Y part or the bottom of the Y part because you literally go square, circle, diamond. And I think that's kind of cool. I think it was kind of cool looking that way. So I think that's the way we will attach it to the other piece. But like I said, I'm gonna redo that. I crimped that a little bit tighter than I meant to. So okay, yes, have those all connected correctly. And like I said yesterday, Becky has like a good like measurement that she likes to do about whether or not to redo something. I need to find my new Nipdex wires. Heather, you don't need anywhere that near that amount of wire. What was I thinking? It's okay. You all know that I save my scraps like crazy person. So let's do this again. And I'm actually going to take a piece of what I just cut off. And I'm gonna put it in this wire or this print tube if it'll let me. Like I said, usually the copper ones have thicker walls than all the rest. So they're a lot harder to get. Push. But I also find that I don't have to swish as many times. Oh my goodness, what am I doing to my print tubes today? I don't know why I keep doing that. Where is the little tube? That's the old discover. I would put one of the rings there with a pendant hanging from the ring. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, yeah, I'll crimp it onto there. So then, should I still do the beaded veil, or should I just make it a simple loop? I think either could look good, but we can always look at it when we get to that point of the process. Squish. I had the top pointed at the camera rather than at me, and I think that's what caused the issue with the last one. Because now it's fine. I just think having it looking at the camera was the problem. Okay, and like I did last time, I pull out my handy dandy rotary tool. I just file down any leftover beading wire that was sticking out of the bottom. There we go. Okay, so we did it. Ooh. Oh, Heather, you have another bead there. I forgot. It was hiding underneath because it went inside. I was like, what the heck? Okay, so we started with the darkest turtle jasper first. That's funny. Oh, it's the metal bead that's going into. Okay. I was like, that's weird because it's not falling off the bottom. But that's because the bottom doesn't, um, the gemstone is not the metal bead. Yeah, yeah. I think I might just do a video. That way I can do the bracelet and earrings as well. Hmm. Okay. I'm gonna put a ball spacer in between the anti-copper ones. I think that will help with the spacing issue. Or I'm just gonna take it down to one. I'm just gonna take it down to one wire. I'm not liking what is happening at the bottom. It's just causing. Okay. I can put a bead in between instead of the little print, which will not transfer into the flower. It stays separated. Okay, I like that better. I think the double wire may have also been what was causing it to be so stiff and not keeping the movement I was looking for. So I know I had to restart a couple of times or like string this a few times, but that's what you gotta do when you make jewelry. That's the whole point of it. Like, if you always just sit down, bang something out, and walk away without like looking at it again, it may not be something that you like or want to sell or whatever else. Yes, I like that better. That has more movement. It's more fluid. Alrighty. Um, let's get the where's that? There it is. Okay. And we'll just take these little beads off and reuse them on this part. Oops, you gotta put a grip jib on first, Heather. Well, I was hopeful for about 2 seconds I'd be able to, there we go. 2, 3, 4. Welcome to Heather Can Count. On tomorrow's episode, she will count 8. Oh no, it would have to be an odd number. Okay, now we have to turn this up. Ooh, changing my mind and cutting off the last strand. What didn't leave me with much wire. It's gonna be tricky, tricky, tricky. There we go. Come on. The crimp does not want to stay down at the top of the bead. And I go to like tighten the rest. There we go. Right? No? Yes? No. That is good because I need space to crimp anyways. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Dang it. I'm not going to be able to loop it into this unless I redo it. Man, why did I do that? I'm going to have plenty wire to use when Becky's beaded link challenge comes up. Can't believe I just did that. Ugh. Because I agree. I think it would look awesome. This time around, since I'm only using one wire, I'm just gonna like double that up and pull this down till it's like all the way inside of the brick bead, which will just stick out of the end ever so slightly, but gives me the necessary like space within, or like the necessary thickness. And then I also won't have to file it because there's not a rough end right there. It is just a folded wire. I can't believe I did that. Well, well, well. I would say it's just another Monday, but it's Tuesday, right? My brain should be more awake. Cut myself and left myself plenty of wire, which I can use on the earrings because I already know what I'm gonna do. So I will finish putting this together with the second strand in that video, and then I will create the necklace and earrings to go with it to make it a full set. And there actually might be a few, or like more than one bracelet, because I have more than one idea going through my head. So third time's a charm, right? As long as this is actually my third try. Yeah, I could have used the jump ring, but I like the idea of the twisted one being where this connects and everything just kind of goes. Everything connects into the twisted portion. So, yeah. Sorry, you guys are. It's like Groundhog's Day around here, right? Is Groundhog's Day still a thing? I mean, I guess it could be since, they're like National Tater Tot Day and whatever, silly stuff like that. But stop twisting. Thank you. See, it was meant to be. Look how quickly that one coiled up for me. The wire gods approved of me redoing it. So it worked out much better this time around. That's how it always works when I'm not on camera. I can pull that down and I still forgot to add it to the veil like an idiot. It's okay. We are gonna attach it as a jump ring. Oh my goodness, Heather. Anyway, these are gonna be connected to the ring. This will also be connected to the ring. And then I will be doing a second strand with the shorter ball spacer strands and these in video number 2. So I'm not going to make you sit around while I do all of that now. You can go, I can pause as I go through the motion of wrapping all the wire and doing all of that. So thank you all for being on my never ending blooper reel. If you, I see that a little too late. Sorry, Rosanna. If you happen to miss the message at the beginning of the video, I'm gonna ask you to please just go watch it. I would appreciate it very much. Anyways, I will see you in the second design video, which I'm gonna go record right now. I'll finish this up and we'll be good to go. As always, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day and happy beading.